Hello, I'm Carolyn Monahan, and I'm the Director of Marketing for the West Coast Chamber. Today's member question of the day is about re-engaging employees at the office. I am joined today by Nikki Probst, the Vice President of Business Relations for Custer. And Nikki is going to talk to us about what employers should be thinking about or considering for their workspaces as they're bringing people back into the office. So, hello, Nikki. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks, Carolyn. Thank you for having me.
So your business, your company is doing a lot of thinking about what the workplace of the future is going to look like as we're all mitigating these changes. What are some of the things that businesses are thinking about and considering as they're bringing their people back?
Absolutely. And I think it's been a lot to digest. And over the last couple of months, it's changed a lot with different stipulations and mandates from the state, of course. So we've just been having a lot of conversations with clients on what's important to them and what we're seeing from our personal experience in bringing people at Custer back to work and just trying to make recommendations and present considerations as they're coming back. We're really lucky to have kind of the backing and the research of Steelcase behind us, who's been working a lot with epidemiologists and researchers to give a really good perspective around this topic. So all we can do is really have personal conversations with clients and make recommendations based on their particular company. A big thing that we're looking at is the spectrum of time in coming back. So when you look at coming back post-COVID, it's not necessarily post-COVID because it'll be a longer process than just so black and white. So we're really looking at what you can do now, what you can do near, and what you can do in the future if things change just based on these considerations. So obviously what we're focusing on right now is talking to clients about the now, what they can do to help their employees really feel safe when they're going back to work. And that kind of revolves around three separate things. So we're talking a lot with clients around the density of their space. So of course, there's a lot of people working remotely right now, but when they go back to the office, how are we helping them reduce the number of people in one space? So right now, for instance, I'm at Custer right now. We've made the considerations to take out the number of chairs to allow for the proper spatial density in a space when we do all come back to work. So helping coach through what that looks like. Another one is really the division of space. Obviously, that is just putting up physical barriers until we have a better understanding of how this contagion spreads. We can help coach our clients through, what that looks like, whether it's tabletop barriers or specific screens, just more physical barriers between each individual. And lastly, the big one is just geometry. So that kind of goes to spacing people out as well, making people not face to face when they're sitting at desks, changing the orientation of desk settings, helping them through reconfigurations in their office. It's little physical things like that that can just really help employees feel more safe when they're coming back. So those have really been the three main areas. We're really looking at how collaborating with your fellow employees is going to change when going back to the office. It's an interesting consideration that since a lot of companies are finding that remote work is a lot easier than they may have anticipated it would be, we don't all need to be back in the office 100% of the time. So it was an interesting question to be posed by a designer to say, what if the office really becomes a destination where you go to collaborate with employees in the office and you do more individual work at home? And then from Custer's perspective, that becomes how do we support an at-home worker and help them still feel connected to the culture of their company, but support the office because it's still going to need to be a place that people need to go to connect and collaborate and really maintain the culture of an organization. That's what the office is all about.
Yeah. And that unique culture and personality of an organization is more challenging to keep going when you're all separated.
I've had those conversations quite a bit too, because I love when we talk about space, we talk to companies about their culture and their people and their brand and, attraction and retention of employees. And that's just such a big part of our vocabulary when talking about space, and companies more and more are wanting to build and maintain a culture, and their office is such a big part of that. So that's going to be a consideration for the future too.
Nikki, I want to thank you very much for taking some time to talk with me today and for helping us all start to look at what it might look like and feel like when we're heading back into our offices to work together.
Absolutely. We'll all figure it out and be back together collaborating as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Thanks, Nikki.
Thanks, Carolyn. Bye.
Bye.